Hi there, welcome back. Welcome to another installment of 'Tis the Season. I'm still working on this little Dickens of a book. Not so little, as compared to the last one I made. So this is what we are aiming for. I like to put the little card in, the little label in, so it gives me a better idea of what I'm looking at. And I think, as I mentioned the other day, I need to have a bit more room so that it's easier to take the label in and out. And oh, sorry, banged my camera stand. And in this case, it can be come on, you see, because I'm trying to hold it in place. There we go. See how you can just sort of lift that out with tweezers. You'll be able to lift it out with tweezers. I find that these book plates, if you just put in a single sheet, they're too loosey-goosey and they'll fall out. But if you fold it in half, it once you've put it in, it enjoys staying in place in its little pocket. And I still don't quite know the title of this book, but I must say I want it to be a happy Christmas book with old-fashioned-y kind of things. And I'm really thinking that it's going to be Mrs. Fezziwig's party book. And just have happy, so obviously the wealthier people in the Victorian era, how happy their celebrations were because they had the funds for it. So rather than the dismal ones that can happen when I do a Cratchit one, let's be a little cheerful this time. So hence the family gazing at their Christmas tree, and it just looks like there's a wonderful celebration going on inside that home. And perhaps that's Mrs. Fezziwig when she was a little bit younger, and her family. I didn't realize after all this time, in doing a little research into Mrs. Fezziwig, and she doesn't have a name. She's Mrs. Fezziwig, just like Bob Cratchit's wife is Mrs. Cratchit. That's the way it was back then. It was their daughter, Isabel, that was Scrooge's fiancée, Belle. It didn't connect for me until I started researching Mrs. Fezziwig and what little we know about her from the book A Christmas Carol. And so it was when we hear about Belle releasing Ebenezer from his promise, it was the girl named Belle was actually Isabel Fezziwig. So I'm just looking for a wider ruler so I can I want to get this even. I'm going to pause, get it even, and then we're going to glue this down. And I was really, really happy with the gem tack. This stuff. I used it to glue down the cellophane, the leaded glass cellophane there that's on it. And then I just used it again because I was gluing paper again to the cellophane. And I think I'm just going to use it anyways to glue this onto here. We'll do that when we get to that. For now, I'm going to pause, and I'm going to give myself a pencil mark so I know where I want to put our window. Okay, so I figured out where I want it. I put on it a pencil mark, and I hope there it is, you can see it now. I am going to eyeball that I've got it centered side to side, but I'm going to go ahead and use the gem tack. I'm going to put it on over here so that if I blop any, it doesn't fall down on here, but I want this ready so that I can plop it down. Now what I did with this is I held it up to my window this way. I don't know if it's showing up, but these bars are where I'm going to put the glue, and I'm not going to glue here in these areas simply because I don't want it to possibly pucker on me after I've laid it down. I know I could probably go in with a gel medium, but I don't want to take the chance still. Even with gel medium, I have had some things pucker on me, and it would be out of my control behind that cellophane to try and smooth it down. And I'm so excited for this cover. I'm just really excited. So I'm going to put some gem tack on. I'm going to pause while I put it on, but then I'll turn the camera back on when I plop it down. Okay, so I've got it on, and now I'm going to put it in its new home. Now let's hope I don't drop it. I've done that before too. So there is my line, and there is it centered. Now I can already see it's thinking of squishing out the bottom. So I'm going to pause for a second. Okay, so I believe I have it where I want it. I'm just going to, fortunately, you have a bit of slide time. And I hope it doesn't dry shiny the way Three-in-One and Fabri-Tac does. There we go. Let me take a look at it upright. So I'm not sure how it's looking on camera, but to me in real life it looks straight. So I am going to take my 8-pound iron and put it on top for now, and we're going to pause until I come back and put this on. And this is going to be our usual little brads through the holes thing. So I'm going to pause while that has a chance to adhere. While we wait, I'm down here. Sorry, but I can't move. And this right here is the edge of my desk, so I can't really come down any further. I've got myself maybe kind of stuck. Anyhow, of all my tiny little brads, none of them matched the rusty color of my rusted book plate. So it's time to put, when that happens, time to pull out your alcohol inks. So I bought the 3-pack of latte, ginger, and caramel. And I tested them ginger worked out the best, and so I will be using ginger. I've already got the other one here and ready to go, and they will be going in to hold our little book plate in place, but I'm still waiting on just giving that a little more time before I start playing around with it again. In the meantime, here, let me move these out of the way. They make me nervous. Same with this. Although I had this taped. So I hope you're all doing okay. I'm doing okay. There we go. All right. I now, for the rest of the weekend, will look like a left-handed 3-pack-a-day smoker. It's okay. I know I'm not. I can put these away in the meantime. There we go. And I did get the template ready for, I haven't poked the holes in it yet, but I think this fabric, it's so tempting to go, oh, phone, hold on. It was my husband. I talked so long now I forget where I was talking to you. I was talking about, I have the template ready, and that you'd think, oh, Christmas book, choose Christmas fabric. But I actually chose this fabric because I really like the fabric to blend well with what the end papers are going to be, so that they sort of recede. I don't want them to be sort of glaringly, oh my, look at that fabric. Because if it was gorgeous fabric, I'd certainly want more of it to show and maybe find a better way to show it off. But otherwise, I really don't want it to be the showcase. I just want to show you how nicely, so that is just enough that it complements it without taking over the show. I want this to be the show. It's so pretty. Isn't that pretty with the little Christmas trees? And yeah, anyhow, I love that. Hence the reason why I put it on the cover. All right, so I measured this out while I had the camera off, and these are drying and that's drying. And I put in marks where I need to use my awl and put a hole in. So I'm going to, I think we can safely remove my iron. That thing weighs 8 pounds. No wonder our foremothers had muscles to spare for the hard work that they did scrubbing that laundry by hand and then ironing it with an iron like that. I mean, first of all, I don't even iron anymore, and when I do, if I have to, it's a light, nice little electric one that doesn't weigh much. So I've already measured it out, and if it doesn't look even to you on camera, it's just the camera angle. This is even. So here's where we go. We just boom right through, and boom right through. This is a gardening kneeling pad. You can get them at dollar stores. So you can see the little holes there. There they are. I've had that one for years. They're terrific to have. I use it every time I make a book. All right, so there's our little volcanoes, and usually I shave them off with a knife. There once was a time that I tried pushing them back in, and I ended up having to re-punch the holes because I just refilled them. So it's just easier to just get yourself sharp craft knife, box cutter. They'll all do the trick, and just shave that little where the paper got displaced by the awl, because it's especially noticeable when you're going through a book cover as opposed to when your sewing machine needle goes through paper. There we go. So do this part gently. You don't want your knife to jump off the page and go into your hand over here. So just nice and gentle. Reminds me of going back to my cosmetology school days, shaving a balloon with a straight edge razor. Now, where did I put my little... Oh, it's right there. There we go. All right. That's good. And that is there. Let's see how this is going to look. I'm not going to put it in yet, but I do want to see how those, oh, I married that up nicely, the alcohol ink with the rust. So that's nice. That looks good. I'm happy. And then we will have our little label that will go in there. And there's our front page. That goes in a little further. Oops. I don't know how people who don't use tweezers manage. Junk journal creators. I use my tweezers probably every hour at my desk. Mind you, I've got fumbly little chubby little stubby fingers, so I love that. I am so happy with that cover. That just makes me smile. Yeah. Then I've got to decide on a title for it. But I definitely think this little journal belongs to Mrs. Fezziwig. And I've got a picture of the two of them dancing that's going to go in probably on the front page. Might do a Dutch door with that picture. If you've got the old and a reprint of the original Christmas Carol little book, there's a picture of Fezziwig's party. And he's dancing with his wife at the party. It's such a lovely little picture. And I got to dig it out and use that. All right, I'm going to get going because it's lunchtime and I'm hungry. So I hope you have a great rest of your day and that you're safe and sound. And we'll get together soon. We'll talk soon. Bye. Take care.